We have had a very troubled year this year. It was a big disappointment to many of us who felt that last year we did accomplish a lot in terms of getting an advertisement for the CAC made, in terms of making more strides forward with the parent ambassadors. And I just hope that everybody in our membership knows that it was not the fault of the parent ambassadors or, your hard work on this committee that made this year less successful than last year. We've had a number of difficulties having free and open communication between our committee and SFACE. We've had what seemed to be marching orders from the Office of General Counsel. We've had many presenters who answer questions using canned language, which can be very frustrating and frankly disrespectful to all of the hard work and time that we volunteer for this committee. We've seen the relationship between SFACE and our committee, and not just our committee, but arguably all three central committees, deteriorate, not on an individual to individual basis, but on an organizational basis, where we feel less supported, we feel less heard, we feel less enabled to actually do the work of our committee. Even in a SELPA year, I think many of us have felt that while we can have feedback into things like the language of the SELPA, we don't really get the ability to make very substantive changes to the SELPA, although some, of course, are being made. And I just want you to know that if you have felt those things, you're not going crazy. We started this year off late because we had a big problem with the appointment process. We still have a problem with the appointment process. This year, it has been impossible to have freedom of information in terms of actually understanding the role, as JP mentioned during his comment, of the selection committee, whether it's a subcommittee or something else. We've had a great deal of problems with the competing parent ambassador program, which is one of the biggest misnomers I've ever heard, because it does not make parent ambassadors. It makes, as JP said, informed parents. And informed parents are very important, but that's not an ambassador. And what we have been trying to do for years as a committee is we have been trying to make it so that we can be parents who help other parents, and not just parents. This is the strength of our committee. We're not just parents. We are community members. We are general education and special education teachers. We are administrators. We are all different people who have all different sorts of stakes in the special education system. We have incredibly knowledgeable and helpful people who are on our committee that would not be able to be on the other two committees because they're not parents of special education students, but they're, regional center employees or members of community organizations that monitor special education. These are our strengths. And yet we treat those people as second-class citizens. Now, I'm hoping that we can address some of the many issues that we've had in the bylaws, but frankly, our bylaws only seem to be followed to the letter when it's to benefit LAUSD. So even though I'm not trying to call out anyone personally, particularly I know Dr. Soto and Kristen Lambert are here, and they as individuals have been amazing. So I'm not calling them out. I'm not calling out Lisa. I'm not calling out Diane. I'm not calling out any individual person. This is an institutional issue. And if we don't keep pushing to make the changes that we see our children need in the future, this is just going to get worse. So I encourage all of you, next year, run for office, run to be an officer, recruit other members, and make your voice heard. I hate to say, donate more of your precious time to this endeavor, but it seems like we have to do that. A lot of the problem is that we are volunteers. And so, of course, our families and work lives have to come first. And that's true. But we're going to try to leave you, this group of officers, we're going to try to leave you with a legacy of, a good historical record of what has been happening and what we would like to see happen in the future. You don't have to continue our goals in future years. Of course, goals can always change, but do continue the ultimate struggle of we are trying to do what we can to help our students. It is always about our students. It's not about any power struggles or anything else. And yet somehow we always seem to get caught up in these power struggles between our committee and various portions of LAUSD. So that's really what I wanted to say to you. And I wanted to speak from the heart. So I didn't end up actually writing it. Also, I didn't want anyone to tell me I couldn't say these things. So I just went ahead and said them. But I think that all of you, each and every one of you, have made tremendous contributions. And I'm not just talking about the membership. I think that, the people that we work with closely in S-Space have been amazing, that Dr. Soto has really reached out a helping hand. It's not about individuals, again, except for you. It is about you, our members, as individuals, because you are the people who give us the ideas, who give the ideas to the school district that we hope that they will follow. And it's you who will continue our legacy of fighting for our special needs kids to make sure that they get the education that they deserve. So that's what I'd like to leave you with. And again, thank you all so much for all of your work this year. And I look forward to hearing your ideas about the SELPA today. And I look forward to continuing to work with you in the future, even though this is my last year on this committee for a couple of years.